This is Dr. Scott Looper. I'm the medical director of the Alaska Center for Natural Medicine. And yesterday we got a question that came to us about bloating. The question was, what can I do to prevent bloating? So I want to do our health hack today around bloating and the prevention of bloating, which also relates to heartburn, which also relates to some other things we'll get to here in a minute. But what the key thing with bloating is it's bacterial fermentation or yeast fermentation, depending on what the situation is. But bottom line, some sort of fermentation. What happens is undigested food gets lower down in the digestive system, and the organisms that live there, they enjoy it. It's manna from heaven for them. And what they do is they digest it and they create waste products, some of which is gaseous, some of which is other stuff, and it causes us to bloat. And the best way to get bloating, I realize I'm opposite of the hack right now because I'm telling you how to make the bloating worse, but the best way to get the bloating to be at its peak is to change your diet, add something that you don't digest very well, and then when you add it the first day, the bacteria that like it go up, their numbers go up. And then the next day you add more and they explode. They will make all kinds of stuff. Now, over time, your body gets used to whatever it is you're eating, and the bloating tends to go down. So the bloating tends to be at a peak when you change your diet. And the key thing is to add things into your diet that are hard to digest. Now, if you simply add a whole bunch of stuff that's just more than your body's ability to digest, you'll get bloating. For example, cupcakes. If you eat 5 cupcakes in a row, there's a real good chance you're going to get bloating because it's just too much stuff. It's too much carbohydrate. But more commonly is people will eat things that they don't normally eat, some kind of weird fruit or some kind of meat that's been processed in a way that makes digestion poor, like salami or pepperoni or beef jerky, something along those lines. Now, basically, bottom line is if you eat foods in large quantities that you can't digest, don't worry, someone else will. And they'll cause you to bloat. So the way to prevent bloating is don't eat those foods. The way to prevent bloating is eat small portions. Because if you eat beef jerky, for example, if you eat a little teeny piece of beef jerky, even if you don't digest it all the way, it's not that much. It doesn't really cause much of a problem. If you eat 1.5 pounds of beef jerky, ooh, you're in for trouble. So small portions are helpful, and also eating things that are relatively easy to digest are better. Beef jerky on one hand is the hardest kind of protein to digest. Salmon, on the other hand, is the easiest. And the way to tell whether something easier or hard to digest is pretty simple. You simply leave it out. If it rots, it's easy to digest. If it won't rot, yeah, not so much. So the rule is if it's rotten, throw it out. The other rule is if it won't rot, throw it out. So either way, it'll take you in the wrong direction. Now, here's the real hack. The question came up after we had this conversation was, Dr. Looper, how can you make the most toxic fart possible? Now, it turns out you can use the information I just gave you and come up with a perfect recipe for horrid, room-clearing farts. All you need to do is load yourself up. Actually, it's 2 stages. You have to eat the stuff on the first day, and then the second day is when the farts are really going to come. So the first day, you load yourself up on stuff that's hard to digest and too much of it. So a good combination would be 5 cupcakes, 1/2 pound of beef jerky, an egg or 2, and maybe an orange or 2 mixed in. And you will make the worst gas. Really. Now, I'm sorry to give this information. I've just told people the recipe how to make an atomic bomb. It's dangerous information. Anyways, this is Health Hacks. Dr. Scott Looper, the Alaska Center for Natural Medicine, helping you to live better.